And we're back on air. Sorry about that, folks. We just had a little bit of computer issues with our broadcast system.
Yeah, that's all good, Brad. That's just one of those things with technology sometimes. So recap on the race, we had Jacob running in second, but he spun out, nearly collected Aaron with him. So Jacob's now dropped down to third. We had two new guys who joined the race, Matt and Andrew, sustained heavy damage, so they're both out. And Ben was also caught up in an incident, I think, with Matt and Andrew. So he's sitting in the pits now.
And we have 6 seconds left in the race, so we saw the start, see the end. I do apologise to our viewers. Just something that happened out of our control. Might be to do with that storm that's approaching, Lance.
Yeah, they forecast a storm between all the races, so see what happens. See how the track conditions are for the next one.
Just watching Mark cross the line, last car to finish. Quick recap for results. Warwick Brown in first, Aaron Farmer in second, Jacob Brown in third, Jay Boving in fourth, Gavin Sadler in fifth, Terry Marwood in sixth, Mark Pazovic in seventh. They're the cars that are going to get flipped over for the race too. Ben Darley in 8th, Matt Janderson in 9th, and Andrew... Sorry, Lance, it's up to you, mate.
We've got Andrew Rhodes Anderson in there in 10th.
Thank you very much. In 10th. And the other 4 cars are out the back. Anyhow, we'll be back for race 2. Welcome back to KFTV for round 2. Looks like we're going to have this race before the storm hits by the look of the overcast.
Yeah, it's very dark and cloudy at the moment. The storm's not too far away. We've got a much smaller grid than the last race, or the carnage that went on with everybody. So we're down to 6 cars now.
Yeah, a little bit of shame, but it is a bit of a rough sport sometimes, especially in the conditions we had first up.
Yeah, there were tricky conditions in that first race. There was a lot of sliding cars everywhere.
Just looking at the weather conditions, it's still around 22 degrees, 23 degrees ambient air, and the track temperature with all the overcast is plummeted down to just over 25 to 26 degrees.
Yeah, so there should be more grip with the cloud cover at the moment and the slightly cooler conditions for the track. But What'll be interesting is seeing Jacob getting through the field, because usually in these second races he's usually on the around the front row. He's now back in fourth for this one.
Yeah, Jacob's starting to get a reputation of being the quickest bloke out there to adjust to weather conditions, so watch him come through the field.
Then we got Terry Marwood here on the front row. He's usually a fairly quick driver as well.
Yeah, and off the line, he's not going to let Pav get away from him.
No, Terry knows how to make his cars very, very wide. He knows how to defend. So interesting to see how he goes into this first corner and for the rest of the race. See if he can hold off the faster guys at the back.
Yeah, and another thing to note is that where most series require to wait for the green flag to drop, in this, as soon as the pace car pulls off, the pole sitter has control. There is no rules of when he can actually jump. So whether Terry's going to be ready for it or whether Pav's going to sit and wait for the green.
Yeah, it seems to vary from driver to driver, and depending if the series allows it or not. Some drivers like to go on the green so everyone has the chance. Others tend to go straight away, and you've got some who wait a little while after but go before the green.
Green, green, green.
Looks like Mark Pazovic has jumped straight on as soon as the pace car was out to get that gap.
Looks like we had Jay seemed to broke loose a bit, so he lost a position, or I think he's lost two now with Aaron. They're going side by side.
Yeah, just a little bit unlucky there for Jay Boving. Just a little mistake on that line. Looks like Aaron's putting a lot of pressure on Jacob too through that corner.
Yeah, we got Warwick not too far behind Aaron as well. He was a race winner from race one. Now, just going back to that start, I think it was smart from Mark doing that, making the early jump, because as Terry has a look, that you don't really want Terry to be around you at the start, because he tends to find the gap and just stick for it. So with him being able to create this gap has been pretty beneficial for him at the moment.
Yeah. I just watched Terry slide back a position to Jacob, and we have Aaron Farmer on his hammer now too.
Like Aaron's, well, he had a little bit of a look, but he backed out of it.
And just in case we do lose broadcast again, it's probably a lot to do with this storm with the power, so we do apologise if we cut out again. Mark out in front. Jacob Brown in second. Terry Marwood hanging on to third. Aaron Farmer in fourth. Jay Bobbing in fifth, and Warwick Brown in sixth.
And the gap is was quite significant between Mark and Jacob in the last lap. Jacob had a little bit of a look going into the hairpin, but he backed out of it.
A little small mistake by Mark Pazovich, 2 tyres off the track. Trying to keep momentum going, obviously.
And we also had Terry run way out wide into the grass in the same corner as well, to let Aaron by.
Yeah, we must have missed that, and Terry's falling under pressure from Jay Bobbing, and looks like Mark Spann.
Yeah, I just caught that.
Just ducking back to have a look to see whether it was contact or whether it was just lost it. Just went a little quick into the corner, that's all it is. The problem is, with how close all the guys were running, that becomes back to the rear of the field.
And also his front end damage was from clipping the tyres on the last turn. Might have had a factor into the spin. He's coming into the pits now.
So yeah, must have done a little bit more damage and a bit of aero on it. So he'll grab a quick repair and bolt straight back out, which now hands the race lead over to Jacob Brown with a 2.5 second gap over Aaron Farmer.
Yeah, we seem to have seen this each week now, with Jacob being at the front of the second race, so I don't know what it is.
It looks like our closest battle is for 5th place, with 2 Pepsi Max cars switching each other, swapping around. So Warwick got past his teammate Jay for position.
As they're both now trying to chase down Terry for third position.
Just looking at the gap between first and second, it's Aaron's starting to reel him in. And in saying that, I'd say Aaron's just ran a little wide. Aaron was up to only 1.7 seconds behind him, but that's now suddenly blown out to 3 seconds.
Yeah, he might have just Aaron might have just pushed it just a little bit too hard, and make those sort of little mistakes, and can create quite a big gap.
And just watched Warwick Brown get past Terry Marwood for 3rd place.
It seems like Terry seems to be struggling with the conditions or the setup with his car at the moment.
Aaron Farmer in the wall. Big time. We're going to try and get back to a replay of what just happened. Sorry to butt in like that, Lance. I just caught it off the corner of my camera.
No, that's alright.
Just got too high up on the curve in the second part of the first corner and looped it around, and that was it.
Yeah, the second corner seems to be catching a lot out. Remember we had Jacob got caught out in the last race, and Mark and Aaron getting caught out that corner in this race.
A little bit of a shame because Aaron was starting to put a lot of pressure on Jacob.
But this now bumps Warwick up to second.
And Terry gets back to third place, so a good comeback from, shouldn't say comeback, but a good position to be in after a little break from the series. Jay Boving, I should say, is just starting to slide back a little bit off Terry, and Mark Pazovic bringing up the field.
It looks like he's got that front end damage again, Mark. A little bit on the side as well.
But 4.5 minutes ago, it looks like Jacob Brown's, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, got this one fully under control and maximum points.
And just having a look at the battle between Terry and Jay. Looks like Jay seems to be having trouble with rear end grip at the moment. He's sliding the car around a little bit out of the corners. Like he's mainly doing it out of turn 3, I think.
Just watching Jay now on the broadcast and just going to have a look if you see him sliding that thing around. Maybe he's a little bit of aero damage, maybe they've just done something that might have just caused it a little bit. Oh, he's hit the curb on that one big time. Up and just sideswiped the wall on the main straight.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky that that last turn because you can't really see that that tyre bundle, so
straight off and he's lost it
off.
Big time. And in the wall.
It's a big incident, that one.
That looked to me like the throttle jammed wide open.
It looks like something really broke in that car.
Yeah. Hope he's okay, actually. But it looked like he had plenty of runoff area just to wash as much speed as he could off, and hopefully he's going to hop out. They get the car turned around, hopefully, and see what happens.
Yeah, he probably got probably broke that rear wing or rear suspension when he hit that tail bundle, then went into the wall on the outside. Not too sure what happened there, but it's quite a strange one.
Just watching Terry Marwood. I'm just trying to read the logo on the side of it that goes past the camera. But nice sharp design on the car. Terry's car would be the pick for my colour scheme for the round.
Yeah, he quite often runs this this Texaco Kmart car. Actually looks quite good. I like it.
Jacob Brown's just extending his lead now. I'd say he's got this race totally under control, as he makes a massive mistake, but he's got an old head on young shoulders, so I can't see him making a mistake this late in the race.
Yeah, he's quite a safe and consistent driver. We know he's really fast, but you have to be able to be fast throughout the whole race, and he seems to be able to do that quite well. He's a very young driver, but he's got quite a big future ahead of him.
Just watching Warwick's car at the moment. About 4.4 to 4.7 seconds behind his son Jacob. So it's going to be a father and son 1-2 at the end of this lap.
Yeah, which is always good to see. I think we saw this a couple times last week.
Yeah, well, that's Jacob for first. Warwick Brown for second. Terry Marwood for third, and Mark Pazovich just going through the back part of the circuit, or heading up to the back part of the circuit now just to finish his last lap.
Well done, Jay. Well done.
Now, if my calculations are correct, Warwick won the first race with Jacob in third, which would put Warwick 1 point ahead for the round win at the moment.
Yeah, so the points are very close at the moment. Jacob and Warwick will be starting side by side at the back of the grid for the next one.
A small correction, will be second row of the grid because only the lead lap cars are reversed. So let's have a look at the results now that Mark Pazovich has crossed the line. We've got Jacob Brown in first, Warwick Brown in second, Terry Marwood in third, Mark Pazovich in fourth, Jay Boving in fifth after that massive crash, and Aaron Farmer after that crash as well in sixth. So hopefully a couple of cars can get back out, or it's going to be a very, very small field for the last race. We'll be back shortly, hopefully before the storm hits. Welcome back to KRF TV. We've just had a heck of a thunderstorm come through here, and still got a bit of mist around, but the guys are out there.
Not as much people as second or first race.
And we've actually had a couple of, sorry about the trying to get the overlays up and running.
Different weather.
We've with the storm, a couple of drivers haven't thought we're going to get going again and finish doing any more racing today. Other guys hung around. We've had a couple of big incidents in race 2, which those cars are trying to be loaded back into transporters to be taken home to be repaired, ready for next week. But we have 4 cars left. We actually only had 3 cars left from the last round due to engine problems and stuff. So Lance has actually jumped into his car that of one of the 2 cars that we drag to each track so we can find out what the guys are going through, and decided to join in. So he's going to start off the back of the field. So there's not going to be much. There's only 4 cars left for the night, but very trying conditions today at the track for everybody. They just head off, and they'll be working their tyres over as much as they can, ready for the start of the race. Now, I believe under the rules that the race officials have actually got to declare a wet race. They've been able to dry the track out a fair bit, but a little bit of mist, so they declared it a dry race. So these guys are actually on slicks for this run. So hopefully these guys actually all get to finish, and we don't end up with 4 cars crashing out before 20 minutes. And we also have a radio link with my co-commentator, Lance Hawks. It's just one of the things we put in our cars, so if something happens and we need more car numbers, or whether, like today, there's been a few crashes and the bad weather, the numbers have been down, that we get an opportunity to jump in the car to try and just prop the numbers up a bit and help the other drivers look after the series. Just rolling down the back straight, working tyres, trying to get as much heat in those steer tyres as they can. The other problem we also have is with the storm that come through, the track was nicely rubbered up for by the end of race 2, and all that rubber has been washed off the track, so it's a perfectly clean track again. So let's see what Mark Pazovic does at the start of this race. He's gone as soon as the pace car's off. Lance is extremely wide. In these conditions, these drivers are going to be tiptoeing a little bit, just trying to find their grip level still. They've been out before the race to try and get a feel for the track, but this is going to be quite trying, and finishing this race is going to be very rewarding. Jacob's had a little bit of look at Mark Pazovic for second, but chose better of it. And Mark shuts the door going into turn 1. And there's the move for second place. Quick, sharp. Didn't even hesitate. Now he's going after his old man Warwick. So the 2 cars out in front are from one stable, and the 3rd and 4th are out of the 2nd stable. It looks like Jacob's popped his nose out to have a look at Warwick. He's right up beside him. Going to late apex it and drive. No, he's just going to follow him up, have another crack at him. Mark Pazovic just sitting in 3rd, just slowly dropping back, and Lance Hawkes in 4th place. So, going to be watching the 2 guys up the front a fair bit, so that's where the battle's going to be. Just on board with Jacob at the moment. Just going to have a look at how he's actually going. By the look of it, we've had something happen to Mark, who's in pit lane. We definitely missed that, and helps if I change cameras. So he's actually come in for fuel. And tyres. So that's going to be interesting what happens. So I'm not 100% certain whether he's just pulled in and done it, or whether something's happened. I'll try and get onto Lance on the radio to find out if something happened prior to it. Got a copy there, Lance?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I think we missed it up here at the commentary box. What happened to Mark Pazovic? And did we just watch him spin in front of you?
Yeah, he just spun again. It was just into that second last corner, just out of that king. He just lost the rear end.
So by the sound of it, it's pretty trying out there at the moment, mate.
Yeah, at the moment the conditions are still pretty slippery, and it's hard to judge to see the first turn and the one I'm going into now.
So, I know you're usually up in the country box. Do you think the officials have made the right decision to race after this storm with still all this drizzle around and poor visibility?
I think this decision was pretty much spot on. They're a bit difficult, but it's a bit of fun as well. I think Jacob just made a mistake as well up ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Lance. We're just going to see if we can find what mistake Jacob just did. Just watching Jacob from a little bit back a little bit to see what has actually happened, and a little bit loose. Haven't been able to find it, so we'll just go back to live, and yeah. By calculations, if Warwick Brown wins this race, he'll win the round by 2 points ahead of his son Jacob Brown, with Mark Pazovich in third. So it's going to mix up the point series. And then we have Warwick just clipping the curving and making a bit of a mistake. It must be very trying out there in these conditions. Just following Jacob at the moment. Previous lap he's running nearly a second quicker than Warwick, so he's starting to pull that interval in. Lance has dropped back to 8.8, and that's getting very close. Mark Pazovich has gone down a couple laps after what happened earlier with a couple of spins. So just going to follow Warwick a little bit. Definitely got pace, whether he can keep that raw pace over everyone else and get back to the lead of the race. But catching someone versus getting past someone is two different stories. as they both cross the line, Jacob's taken another 0.9 of a second out of Warwick's lead. So at the moment, Jacob is just doing race fastest lap after race fastest laps. So he's pulling qualifying laps at the moment. In fact, he's nearly half a second quicker than his qualifying time for race 1. It's just a little bit interesting to watch. We've got Lance back in third, just coming up onto the left-hander onto the back straight. Lance is a very consistent driver, can drive to a lot of weather conditions, everything else. And there we go, just straight off the corner, back on. Just trying to gather it up. So those tyres will be super wet again, and just got to wait for a bit more heat to get back into them. And poor Mark Pazovic, he's going to pull up 4th place points as a worst case scenario. There's not been a good day of racing for Mark, but at least he's still out there. We've had teams pack up and go home because of the weather. We've had cars crash out throughout the day that haven't been able to be repaired. But it just goes to show the team's been in, they've repaired his car every time, he's got back out, and he finishes every race. So on his bad days, he's still going to maximise his points, which will help his championship. But out in front, Warwick's now under a lot of pressure from Jacob. He is absolutely flying. Just gone just under 6 minutes to go. And these guys are pushing. They are pushing very hard. Warwick's just, I wouldn't say taking a defensive line just yet, but Jacob's doing everything he can to maximise his raw speed to try and catch right up there. We're taking a little bit of a breather at the moment, rest the tyres. It looks like Warwick's been able to respond to his pressure because only 1/10 between the lap paces. Oh, little close, not been able to quite see the corner of the apex. It's just caused a little bit of a mistake. But yep, he'll just head down, chase him back down. Looks like Lance is in the pits. I'd say for a splash of fuel and go. That's all it is. So this leads to believe that these two front runners, and we've just watched Jacob slide off the track, these two front runners are actually going to make it to the finish line. We've had Pav and Lance both in for fuel, and obviously Mark Pazovic in for some repairs as well. But it looks like Warwick Brown's flinched. He's coming in for fuel, followed by Jacob as well. So no one's had enough fuel to actually finish this race tonight. This evening. It's this track burns a lot more fuel than some of the others, and these weather conditions ain't making it easy for them. So let's see who gets the run out. Oh, small mistake by Jacob Brown, overshooting his pit. So that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt massively. That mistake has cost him nearly 4 seconds. We'll see if we can get hold of Lance again. Got a copy there, Lance?
Yeah, loud and clear.
We saw you pit a couple laps ago, and fuel load's a little light this round.
Yeah, I was about 4 laps short for fuel, according to my numbers.
And the lap after you pitted, we watched Warwick and Jacob Brown both come in, so they must have been really empty.
Yeah, when I pitted, I still had 2 laps of fuel left, so I could have gone another lap, but I decided to come in then. But Warwick and Jacob are just running away with this. I can't compete at all.
Yeah, they've literally walking away with it. It's been a little bit interesting to watch, but they're out there not from pushing either. Lance, they're been going actually quite hard at it with their own mistakes.
Seen by their times, are not too far off. It's just 0.8 between the two of them now.
Yeah, Jacob overshot his pit and gave away 4 seconds, and in a lap he's pulled it back in. So I'm hoping Jacob can actually get up past him, but I think Warwick's going to be able to hang on to it.
Yeah, we had last week Jacob won races 2 and 3, and got the white flag this race, this lap. But yeah, Warwick's won the first race. It's not over yet though. It's very close between the two of them.
Yeah, and I'd say Jacob's not going to be one to. He's going to drive it in as deep as he can at every corner, put enough pressure on him.
Watching him on those first couple laps, he made quite a bold move on the inside of Mark.
Yeah, there was no warning. He just flicked it across and then shot up his side before Mark had any response.
Yeah, just their pace at the moment. I'm going flat out as fast as I can around here, but I'm probably 2 seconds slower than what they are, 2 to 4 seconds.
Yeah. Anyhow, mate, we'll have a quick chat after the race, but I'll let you finish.
All right, mate.
And formation finish for the two boys. Well done, guys. That was good to watch. With how few cars are left for the round, you guys put on a massive show. Congratulations to Warwick Brown, first place for the race. Jacob Brown, his son, for second. So by my calculations, that gives Warwick the round win by 2 points. There's Lance Hawks in third.
A good race, guys. Had nothing for
Mark Pazovich just
for you
pulling
two
up.
up the front. Warwick and Jacob.
So
The very tight race. Couldn't shake him.
Anyhow, that's. We'll just bring up the results.
One eye on the road, one eye on the fuel tank. Fuel gauge.
Warwick Brown in first, Jacob Brown in
I was
second,
just going flat out until I got the...
Lance
till
Hawks
I
in
got the
third,
fuel
Mark
up.
Pazovich in fourth.
I almost thought you
And now,
might
guys.
have been going for the no stopper.
Anyhow, guys,
I thought about it, but I don't really like
This is-
saving fuel.
this is Brad Matheson, and
No. One, I don't like it. And
Thank
two,
you for
I'm not
watching
very good at
KOF
it, and
TV.
I have run out of fuel.